Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. And as promised yesterday, I am piloting the deck I'm going to be playing this weekend in the Arena Championship Qualifier. Yes, once again, we get a standard qualifier, the best format of them all. And I'm going to be playing my favorite deck in standard. And overall, it's Monogreen Landfall. I played this deck at Prague RC. I managed to get into the main event playing the last chance qualifiers. I went 8-2 in those, so those are pretty nice 80% win rate. Unfortunately, in the main event, I went 3-3. I lost some matchups where the die roll is very important. I think I've never seen a standard format where a lot of hinges on who's going first. Of course, if you have a lot of our else, Belgium World Cup, cards like Stormchase style and all this, makes it more of an advantage to go first. And it kind of reminds me of Modern, where I really feel like the die roll is the most crucial part of a lot of matchups. That's what happened to me. But I don't think that changes the fact, takes away the fact that this is one of the top, if not the top deck in standard right now. So I could talk a lot about this deck, like explains things, but I think this deck has just been around for so long that I think I'll answer some main questions that I'll probably get in the comments. So the first one is why just mono green version? I have been asked this a lot. Of course, we saw green white version, the Selesnya version, enhanced of Snake and Slayer, winning the last Pro Tour. So why just mono green? Mostly the metagame has changed a little bit. Going into the Pro Tour, I think the most played decks were mono green Landfall and Prowess. But now with more control decks coming out of the woodworks, especially Jeskai Lessons being quite popular now, 4-color control, we've seen a lot of Demerix Crusader. I think the mono green version is better. The green white has advantage in the green matchups, like in the mirror against other Belgium World Cup decks. But everywhere else, I feel like the mono green version is just better. Against Prowess, I think Esper Origins is a very good card. And then we have Slapping Nursery, which is just slapping. I really like this card, and I have this goofy art that Canister made me buy, so I like playing it every every chance I get. So yeah, that's basically the reason for this version, just single color, just trying to be very consistent. As for the specific deck list, I think it's relatively stock. Like I said, we see the Sapling Nursery. That was, I guess, not always the case. I'm playing only 3 Harmonizer. This card is, well, I'm playing 4, but I have 1 in the sideboard and 3 in the main deck. This card is great against green decks, but kind of lacking against the other color combinations. Against Izzet, I don't want to see it that much, so I think I'm pretty happy with the 3 copies. I do have 4 copies of Bant Resolve. I sometimes at the RC I played 3 in the main deck, 1 in the sideboard. Not totally sure what's right, but for now, I feel like the Selesnya offense deck is on rise, so I just want to more removal for that. Isabella is still very good against Prowess, where you really want to kill this like Show. So I am for now playing 4 in the main deck, might change. World Wagon is just a very good card with the Nursery, so I think they just go well together, complement each other. You just want to get as many forests into play as possible, so this card is cheaper. And then in the main deck, we also have Demolition Field. This card has been showing more and more play lately. Biggest reason is that these 4-color controls for Jeskai Lessons, they just have like a couple basics, 2 or 3. And with Ice Explorer, you can just use this as a single repeatedly, and I think it's pretty good. It gives you another angle of attack, and also, of course, it is very good against Demonic Crusader, because if you have the Demolition Field in play and they play their Demon and you just blow up their Restless Reef, they are sometimes going to lose the game. So that is very important. Of course, another card that's great to achieve the Basking Say, which is one of our key cards, as always. In the sideboard, I do have a lot of Graveyard Hate, 3 Soul Guide Lanterns. I am a bit scared of Spellmentals. I think it's one of the worst matchup for us, and I believe that Soul Guide Lantern is the best card for the matchup. And then only 1 protection spell. Usually, I think the stock is playing like 2. I'm not a huge fan of this card. Honestly, I could see going down to 0. It's just like kind of awkward having to keep up mana. You just sometimes want to tap out, like you often want to tap out, and I think it's very better in open deck lists where it kind of makes your opponent play around it, and if you don't have any, it would be really rough. But the Arena Championship Qualifier will be closed deck list. Not for me though, so I'm gonna be streaming on twitch.tv/Ondrej Tune in if you want to see me. So I'm probably gonna play 1 copy just to not give away all the information to my opponent. Then we have these next 3 cards: Glorious Decay, Pop Formation. 2-1 split in the favor of Puppet Formation, but this card's main function is killing Stick Shot, of course. They each have their own like slight advantages. I think Glorious Decay is much better against these control decks because it can kill the tablet of Discovery. That is pretty huge. And then also I like the the third ability, let's call it the draw card one, a bit more on Glorious Decay because I think exiling target card from graveyard is usually more important than getting the food. Even against the Slickshot Show of decks, you can just exile a card from graveyard, which A could counter Chapter 2 of Storage Assistant, and B can delay Edinburgh Crab, which is both relevant. So still doing this swap because Poppage I think is slightly a bit better in some decks where you really need to kill flyer. So like Momo plays Quantum Riddler. There's also some enchantment decks, for example, the Mardu discard, where you really want to kill Coolbot, Groot, and Sheltered by Ghosts. So right now, having the split might change in the future. Might just go to one copy of each. We'll see. Sideboard, Mostborn Hydras. This is the best card against the mirror. I was also considering playing one main deck and three in the sideboard. It is notably very good against Spellmentals because it's very goofy that it doesn't get bounced by Summer Block. Like, it's kind of crazy, right? I was considering that swap, but right now I have 4 in the sideboard. Surak, I have been less and less impressed by this card. Could see going to 0 is truly great against Crusader, I think, but in the other matchups, I don't know. It's just going down my estimations. I think people play less counter spells. It's just less of a blood. I'm instead playing this Leatherhead, Goofy Crocodile. Really like that card. This is my card against control. I think it's pretty awesome. Once you get to resolve this, yeah, it's very hard to deal with. I feel like the controls these days they don't play many sweepers. Of course, Lessons plays maybe Slackstorm, but that's it. And even the 4-color they play usually like 2 Deo Judgment. So if they don't have a sweeper, this goes pretty fast. So I really like it. And for Harmonizer, already talked about Nursery. It's just an extra against the extra copy against the grindy deck. So that's basically it for the deck tech. I did just post my Landfall deck guide on Metafy. So you can go there, you can either buy the guide or you can just join the community, and that will give you access to all the guides that I wrote before. So the lessons guide and this one. And I'm of course planning to make that a bigger thing. I really like the Metafy platform, and I'm planning to make the Metafy thing a little bit bigger. I'm planning to write a bunch of the guides. I'm also gonna start offering coaching, so if that's interesting, you can head out on there. And if you're part of the community, I'm also planning to make a Discord for that. So yeah, big things incoming. I'm all in on this Magic thing, and I really do enjoy writing about Magic, and I want to make more and more content and try and come up with ways to make it more exciting for you all. So head out on Metafy, the link is going to be in the description. And once again, I wholeheartedly recommend this deck. And I've been having blast. I don't know, 13 Forest, I'm all in. All right, enjoy the games. There were some good ones. First, and bit of a risky hand, especially if our opponent doesn't have anything to kill the Masterized Resolve with. I think on the draw, I would probably mulligan. On the play, I feel like I can just get away with it a little bit. So we'll see. With the Benjamin Cup into Ascension, into Ice Explorer is very nice, but we'll need some, ideally some lands. Hollow Fountain, Spring Leaf Rum, okay. That's interesting. I'm assuming it's just a Momo, which I think is pretty good news, because Momo is a deck that doesn't have that much removal for Benjamin Cup, and yeah, I'm really hoping my Benjamin Cup lives here so I can do the Ascension thing. Oh, it is. No C-Rep, please, one time. Drawing a line would be really nice here. Like an Ascension plus Masterized Resolve. Okay. Pixie. Or do we have the C-Rep? Without the land, the game might be a bit hard. If I draw the land, especially if I draw the fetch land, like Fable Passage would be the best draw by a lot. Would be amazing. If I draw a Fable Passage and this doesn't die, I'm in a great spot. Ooh, okay, little Daydream. Not bad. So if I get the Plains, they're probably just gonna get the Pixie now. I mean, I'm definitely aiming to use the Masterized Resolve here. It'd be nice to be able to stop the Momo, but it's very unfortunate I didn't draw my land. Yeah, I think I don't have any other option, honestly. I need to make my land drop. This also develops you quite well with the Bajmal Cup. In play next turn, I'll have access to 5 mana. We'll still need to draw land. Look, this is the Landfall deck. We do need lands to trigger our Landfall abilities and further our game plan. So hopefully I draw land. Next turn I can play Ice Steel plus Most Riders. I'm really scared. Oh, wow. I was gonna say I'm scared of Bragg's offense, but what the hell is this? The Relative Fulcrum, I mean, that is a tech I have not seen. Okay. So we are gonna lose the best Sing-Say. I don't mind that very much. Forest. Just gonna get it back. I think this is okay. My Ascension's gonna trigger. Still need a land. Kind of is a land. Kinda, but not really. I'm just gonna play Cub. And I'll try to resolve the Momo, right? One need trick you could make if you need the Landfall trigger, which I might do next turn, is kill my own Forest with the Monstrous Resolve. I don't think I'm there quite yet. So put this here. The Momo. Now I'm thinking whether I'm supposed to attack with this Budget World Cup and try to kill the Egg. Well, I'll definitely attack. But also attack with this. This is just basically free damage. I don't think my opponent will. Well, my opponent might block actually. Never mind. I still didn't play yet. I think I could attack and then kill the Egg with the Resolve. I think I'm leaning towards doing that. Also, probably like the attack is definitely free, right? Like I'm not gonna block with my Vision World Cup. My opponent might not block with their Ankh. I'm still not sure if I want to use the Resolve because, like I said, I do value the chance of basically putting my land in the graveyard a little bit with the Ice Steel Explorer. It's gonna give me a chance to hit the land drop with the Mill Trigger or next turn. So I'll see, but I mean, my opponent could just not block. I think if they block, I'm likely going to kill the Aang. I don't want to be pressured as much. And Aang is pretty good with Daydream. Missing Mindful from Harmonizer was one of the worst draws I could have gotten here. I mean, there's plenty of bad draws. Alright. I think that's fine. I mean, once again, if I draw Fable Pass next turn, I'm very likely just going to win. So they have access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. 6. A little bit in trouble. So they can Daydream the Ankh, like I said. Okay, they used the just 1 mana version. I'm gonna lose my Forest. And the problem is that now they can Daydream again. And I'm gonna lose my second Forest. That's gonna be rough. Might make it a bit hard to win. Although, once again, if I draw Fable Passage, I think everything is forgiven, kinda. Because the Harmonizer is just gonna cut the Needle. And I'm not yet at the risk of dying, right? Next turn, well. Oh yeah, I look at this. Yeah, let's do World Cup with the Resolve. That one's a little bit better. So if my opponent plays this, put something back, it's still just 9 damage, and I don't think they're quite there for the Airbending, the Waterbending. This one though, this one really sucks. Okay, I will attack with my Badger Mold Cub. Now I could fight the egg. So I can fight it here. I also just fight the Momo, but I think fighting this might be better. Let me think. Actually, it might. It's probably not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so they're still short of being able to activate it. What can the Pixie do? The Pixie can get back the relative fulcrum. I think I'll do this. But now I'm in a very dire situation. I really just need a harmonizer to go along with the favorite passage on the top of my deck. Because if I do draw that, that is what, 20 damage for trample. It should be fine. It should be good enough, but without a fetch land, I don't see my chances very well. So Vincent gets 4 escape button for favorite passage, and if I whiff, I'm going to die. And this is sometimes what happens. Like, I knew that my kip was relatively risky, not having third land, but I felt like with double Monster Resolve, that card is just very, very good in a lot of matchups that are not that good. So I felt like it was worth taking the risk. And of course, you know, playing a, what is it, 26 land deck and then never drawing your second land, kind of rough. Weed. What is it? Druid? What does that mean? I'm confused. Well, let's see what our play cooks up there. I don't feel like I'm in a great spot here. I mean, you could play Pixie, get back the Fulcrum, play the Fulcrum, find something with the Fulcrum. I'm very likely dead to any removal. I'm most likely dead to just drawing a card that doesn't do anything. Alright. So it is some sort of an airbending deck. I was wondering with the Fulcrum, is that what it is? But okay. The Droid out makes sense. Personally, you know, I played this deck the last birthright in it, hoping to attend many more in the future. But yeah, I didn't play it to the greatest result, but I also never played the Momo in it, and I think that's an interesting tech. I've never seen that before. It's a pretty cool version. Looks like it's very white heavy though. Version I previously played was like a vegetable cup version, but this looks probably like you're just splashing. You're just splashing the Dog Hawk as well, I think. Alright, I think I'm just dead. Doc Orlock is there, yeah. The Ankh is Savior is able to come down and counter my spell, so nothing I can do about that. How do we want to sideboard? This is probably not going to be a great matchup. Like, normal Momo decks are fine, but here I need to race, so I'm bringing in the Harmonizer. I still think like Paw Patch and especially Glorious Decay are good cards. Not totally sure about Paw Patch. It's probably fine. I saw a lot of flyers. I think flyers seems good. I just want to be as lean as possible. I'm heavily considering the royal treatment. I'm also somewhat considering the Mossbor Hydra, although it's pretty bad against Ankh specifically. Yeah, I think I'll do the royal treatment, the one-off, and then either Hydra or Surak. I'm not totally sure. I think Hydra is way better. Just try to cheese them a little bit. Play first. Alright, well, we've seen this hand before. But now, I do have the fetch land. So, this is a much better keep in my mind. Basically lacking the Harmonizer. So, winning the game might take a little bit longer. Cub. Second Cub is a nice pickup. That's gonna Let me go real fast if this one lives, of course. But next turn I can go Cup, Ascension, Master Edge Resolve, and that is a hell of a turn actually. So Temple Garden finally here, making it a little more clear when my opponent is playing. And they're in the tank once again. So I'm hoping my Vegemite Cup will live here. Oh, Orlok, here we are. And yeah, I think it just Vegemite Cup on the best I'd say. Play the Urban Ascension, kill the Momo. Trying to figure out if there is a better way for me. I could also put in the Ice Explorer. Start milling myself. I mean, also, like, one consideration is, am I supposed to kill the Momo? I think I am. Can't kill the Doc Orlok just yet, so... This is usually what you want to be doing with the Earthbend triggers. Getting it onto your fetch lands is great because there's more landfall triggers. And yeah, I'm okay with killing the Momo here. And I'm not going to attack. Since I'm tapped out, already played all my land drops, it's a free block, of course. And my opponent might be able to attack me back. This way I can block. That's fine. Alright, so we are gonna resolve the Ice Steel Explorer. I think this could be like a nice 2-turn clock from my side. Very likely. It's a good one. Play that, and then I'm just gonna start using Stilts. Alright, they just concede. Wow. Okay, I mean, I think I would definitely have a 2-turn clock there, and I think that would be hard to come back from my opponent. Basically, every land drop would put on counter on the creature, so this turn I would attack at least 4-6, probably more, and then this would grow also. Like this turn I would have like 5 land drops. So I would put 5 counters on this, so it's actually 9 damage here, 9 trample damage, and the next turn would be so much more. So I think it's a solid concession from my opponent. It's kind of hard for them to win from that spot. Don't think I want to change anything much on the draw. The monster was great. And yeah, this is just kind of like the configuration when you need to go fast. Unfortunately, once again, normally in a go real fast matchups, you want the Mosbora Hydra, but I think this is kind of an exception because of how vulnerable this tank. So just resubmit the games on the draw are gonna be really rough. Airbending combo can just get there. And obviously I will play the real life magic rules. If my opponent has the loop and will be able to make infinite 1/1 creatures, I will just concede. I'm not gonna let them. You know, it's on the arena you can actually only make like a certain amount of 1/1s before your rope runs out. But yeah, I'll be just conceding. That is the case. So we are living in Groundhog Day with really similar hands every game. On the draw, I'm keeping this. I will again pray to draw one of my 24 lands. My untapped deck tracker is telling me it's a 45% chance to draw a land in my very first draw step. But I also will get the 5, so I might have a little longer to find the land drop. And of course, there's Chocobo. This is a very aggressive hand. Definitely know my Monster Riders, especially in the face of Springleaf Ram. I feel like Springleaf Ram is a card that gets a little bit worse if your opponent mulligans. Sorry, if you mulligan, is what I mean. Because you need a certain amount of like cards for it to be good. A little scared but I am probably going to resolve their Banner Ascension. Sage of Disguise is definitely not a scary card in this matchup. Yeah, this is definitely Groundhog Day. I think I would have killed the... I think I would have killed the Momo here. And... this here, I think? Just set up my Chocobo for next turn. I'll have my Airbending Ascension. This is not the most pressure. I said the Lifelink is annoying, but if or when I draw my Fabled Passage, Escape Belt or something like that, I will just deal a lot of damage to my opponent, so it's gonna be a big chunk. So I'm not that worried about the life gain there. I mean, that is a wee daydream. Okay, that does make more sense now. All right, well I'll need to find something soon here. That's pretty good. Just trying to figure out how many land drops I can make. I can make 2. I think I might just want to play Ice still. So let's do some basic math. Ooh, clock is going already. Well, I am under a decent amount of pressure. So if I manage to kill one flyer, which I can with the monsters right now, that will decrease the clock by a decent amount. So I think I'm meant to do that. So I am just going to play this. Play the Airbending Ascension, tapping my force. This here. My Chocobo 3/6. And I'll kill these Sage of Disguise. Definitely want to kill the one that's not copied. Because that one they could daydream, so they would increase damage output by 1. Might be relevant. So now I'm not dying in 2 turns, which is key, so I'll have a little bit of time to get my ice still down and hopefully start activating this demolition field and triggering my Form Harmonizer. Okay. So decision time. You know, Landfall I think is a very tricky deck, kind of hard to play. I don't think I should die, so we'll just play the Ice Still. I'm gonna get the mill triggers on. Maybe I hit a land drop. Great. So now I can play this safely. To the Warp Zone. Play this. Look at that. A lot of damage. Next turn, this is definitely going to be a win for me. If my opponent doesn't draw anything that interacts with me or doesn't find a way to deal these 2 points of damage, which I think is relatively hard. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. Next turn, I'm just dealing like a lot of damage. I'm gonna put this Harmonizer in, and then I'll be activating Demolition Field. So let's see. I think that's just a good game. I think I had like, I don't know, maybe 100 damage or something. I want to do the exact calculation, but it was a lot. Around, we are on the play yet again. I'm pretty happy to keep this. Obviously, slightly risky if my Llanowar Elves dies, but it lives. This is an amazing hand. I get to Benchmark Cup on turn 2, hit my escape tunnel, ramp it up, and then I have Ascension, World Wagon, Harmonizer, all ready to go. Alright, Forest. My Llanowar Elf is gonna survive this turn, and this is a great hand for them to match. Alright, let's go up into play. pass. I'm gonna block and sacrifice my tunnel. Next turn I can just go Ascension plus, well, not Chocobo. Unless I hit a land. I also might just do World Wagon. We'll see, we'll see. Will really depend on our land drop. Not totally sure. I think Ascension might actually be better because it's a real good harmonizer. Right. Hopefully I draw land, which then I think I can play Chocobo. Okay. Makes sense. I was just gonna use the tunnel anyway. Okay. Well, let's pick. So I think it's just Chocobo, Halo Passage, Ascension, go. And the next turn is just World Wagon, Harmonizer will win. Really? I could just play the World Wagon now. I think it's slightly better. Oops. That was a mistake. I kinda forgot. Got confused and then realized I have the Belgian World Cup discount, so I just sacrificed my failed passage for no reason, which you don't really want to do in this deck. So yeah, don't be like me. Remember that Belgian World Cup will actually improve the little bit of our elves, and don't think it's gonna matter in this break game because I think my opponent's just gonna play 3-drop here and then they will die. But it's definitely a bit of a misplay right there, which I will not make next turn. Man, this is, I don't know, 7 million damage approximately, close to that. And this was a great hand to be on the play in this matchup, so really happy. Have that, and now I can just play. So I can activate this. Centron. Who's here? Skip this. It doesn't really matter what I target. I could also target Kukubo. It's really important. I have enough triggers for the Ascension, which I did have. I didn't even need a land drop. That was nice. I'm not totally trying to maximize my damage, which I believe I could be doing in some other way with the Ascensions. Trigger, but this is, you know, casual 200 damage on something. What is it? Third 4, I think. Poor Buddha. So yeah. That's a lot. Minus 208. Right, on the draw in the mirror match, you know, the Mossmore Hydra is the truth in this matchup. And Harmonizer is obviously great, and I don't like Zeppeliners, I don't like Esper Origins. And now, in the mirror match, I think if you're playing against the mono-green version, I like just Surak. Against the white version, I do like Roller Treatment a lot. Some other options, you know, you could play Tifa. But I think the Surak is okay. It's just like a big creature with trample, which sometimes if you just have, you know, Surak and then you go turn 4 Harmonizer with Fetch Land, that is 16 damage right there. Trample. Yeah, again, trample is very important. Like this game, if I didn't have trample, my opponent maybe could have, like, you know, just chum blocked. I probably would regardless, of course, because I had a lot of big creatures, but the trample was relevant, right? It's you know, 200 trample damage. It's nice. So yeah, I like trample basically TLDR, and I think this is my sideboard in the mono green mirror version. Obviously, the Surak is not ideal. Like if I had more spots in my sideboard that I could dedicate just to the mirror match, I would have different cards. But I don't need that necessarily card metagame. I think Landfall is going to be probably sub 10% on the field, so you don't really need to have the cards for it. Alright, this is a clear mulligan. 2 mana lands, no turn 1, turn 2 place. Just saw the last game where I killed my opponent on turn 4, so really can't afford to do that. And I am going to keep this one. So definitely bottoming the land, just trying to figure out whether it's forest or basic say. It's pretty clear that it's a forest. In this game, I don't have sapling nursery in this matchup. In some matchups where you want the sapling nursery, it might be worth it to bottom. Basing say over forest, but usually in those matchups, the basing say is quite good, so not sure. I am thinking if I should do the fabled passage, but I don't think so. I have my Hydra, so I prefer to keep it up. It's probably gonna come here. I have a hard time imagining they keep ahead with no 1 or 2 drops. And I'm also going to return the favor. My cub. Admittedly, a little scared my cubs might die to Monster's Resolve, and then I'm a little bit cooked. But yeah, mirror match is more or less very play draw dependent. Okay. 1 Monster Riders and I'm okay. This is a good sign. Of course, if they have Monster Riders, I imagine they just use it right away. And now I think I just play my Ascension, right? And then Meltstriders on the Hydra. It's kind of a neat trick with Fatal Passage. Not relevant in this situation, but if you have only 2 lands and the Vegemite Cup, the land for Fatal Passage will come into play on tap. Because the Fatal Passage comes back into play before. So right now, I have 5 lands in play, but if I the other way, I would have only 4, but my land would still enter on tap. So definitely killing the Hydra. Pretty lucky my opponent didn't have a fetch land here. Would make it much harder to win. The question is, do I attack or not? I am kind of happy if they blocked, I think. So I will attack. Although on the other hand, I might also be interested in blocking. I'm just not gonna attack. I don't think it matters. Like these 2 damages will not decide this game, I think. Because I am just with my hand, I'm gonna be dealing a big chunk of damage right there to my opponent. I think next turn I just go Ice Still plus Mostborn Hydra, and then the turn after that I will kill. So I can Ice Still play Hydra, then I'll be able to grow the Hydra to like what is gonna be. If I stack the triggers correctly, it's gonna be 2 triggers and then 3, 6, 12, I think, and then I'll put a Monster as a resolve on it. So that's a pretty big creature. That was some quick math, so hopefully I did it right, but I think so. Basically what's gonna happen is I'm gonna play the Ice Still using these 3, then I'll crack the Fabled Passage, replay the Fabled Passage, crack it again, and then play the Hydra, and then I'm gonna play the Fabled Passage. With this trigger on the stack, with the Hydra trigger on the stack, I will let this trigger resolve, put it on a counter on the Hydra, and then I will sacrifice the Fabled Passage before the Hydra trigger resolves. It's complicated. Which will basically allow to put the 2 Ascension triggers on before we start doubling. Alright, hopefully I explained that well. My opponent is Death, I think. Not this turn, but next turn. I don't think there's very many outs here. So let's just do what I talked about. Show you in practice what I outlined. Hopefully I outlined. And I didn't actually mislead you by maths. Okay, go with the trigger. And now, I guess maybe I should grow the Ice Explorer as well, so it doesn't die. Monsters resolve on my opponent's turn. Seems more relevant. Okay, here's the trick. So when you have Ice Explorer, you wanna hold full control with Fabled Passage in play, and then sacrifice it. This way, you will basically get the forest out of your deck before any mill triggers, which is relevant because you don't want to mill the forest. You would rather have it in play, and you would rather mill different cards like. Not now because I don't have Asper Origins in my deck, but mostly it's for Asper Origins. This way you just basically increase the likelihood of like Asper Origins, while simultaneously decreasing the chance of like other forests. Alright, so I'm just gonna pump up the Ice Still, and now I'll do the Hydro trick I talked about. Hopefully I do it right. Let's see. I will just trust Arena auto trigger stacker that is gonna do it right, but it might not. We'll see. Right, it does it right. So I let this resolve. I did it slightly incorrectly. I think I would prefer this trigger to resolve first, but it really truly doesn't matter. So I let this resolve now, and then still with the Hydra trigger on the stack, I will patch. I absolutely love the draws here. My opponent's draw didn't really pan out. They really were missing a fetch line this whole game. So now progress will double. Full Hydra. I'll play is here. Kill my opponent's Hydra. Like a proper Captain America over here. And now I can pass. I don't think that there's anything my opponent's side that could stop me. Simply because they don't have the fetch line. Maybe if they had a fetch line, they could do some Harmonizer, Ice Steel shenanigans, but out of 2 cards with no fetch line, it's impossible. And we got the win. We are lucky with the die rolls, winning all 3 so far, and I'm pretty happy to keep this. With the turn 1 Chocobo. Pull out by turn 2 Cup is pretty good. I've been pretty lucky with my keeps as well. I have not been mulliganing a lot. Hope I didn't just jinx it. Malsarge resolve, really not what I want to see in this situation. I like to see a land. Come on! It's a common occurrence in this run so far. Yeah, that's... I mean, Malpine might have a quench. They probably have a quench. They don't have a quench, alright. Perfect. Resolving Ascension is always very nice in basically every matchup. So I'm gonna send in my Cub. It's the bad attachments. And Mistrise Village. Against this, this is clearly the Jeskai Lessons build, which plays the Mistrise Village. And it's quite popular deck. I've been facing it a lot lately. Against this specific version, I value the Demolition Field pretty highly. You see that here. So I'll need to weigh my options here. Figure out what I want to do. I think I just play Ice Steel Explorer. And then I will use the Melstrider's Resolve and fight my forest in the brain. Because if they want to kill the forest in response, at least I get Landfall triggers. No, besides I really want to kill Grand Grand. But this feels like just a very weak draw for my opponent. No permission spells. Likely just another bad attachments. We might have the Accumulated Wisdom right there. So, back on the Demolition Field point, I didn't quite finish. This deck usually plays 2 to 3 basic lands, and it's not uncommon to run them out of it. Alright, no Combustion Technique, please. If there's no Combustion Technique, this Ice Steel Explorer is just gonna take over the game. Oh yeah. Don't mill it. Okay, and they didn't mill it, and that should be the game. So, how do you want to structure this? I think I'll start by using the Monster Resolve once again. I think I'll use it on here, which is kind of weird. Because they could have the Combustion Technique, but I feel like they would just never not do it. And this way I protect my Ice Steel from Arrow's Demonstration, which is a card that is commonly played. And now I just want to start using my Demolition Field for the Demolition. Slightly annoying that I'm unlocking my opponent blue mana right here. So they can play like Accumulated Wisdom and Step, which, yeah, it's pretty annoying, but I do. Hoping to hit a land drop here so I can use Demolition Field again. Not happening. Alright, so how many lessons do they have? So it's 4, so Combustion Technique deals 6 damage. So I'll put it on Ice Steel. And I'm gonna use my Esper Origins trying to hit a land. I don't think I played the second land drop just yet. So putting both of these into my graveyard. Well, certainly in the forest. I'm not sure about the Ascension, but it also does. It really doesn't matter because I'm just gonna mill it with the forest because I want to make a land per turn. And I actually think I am okay with. Let me see. I think I'll just put it here. If my cub dies to Farming Lesson, I don't mind. I just want to make sure that I still lives as long as possible. And we had a nice turn right here, ramped up a lot. So I still now would survive Combustion Technique, I believe. It's currently at 7 damage, so it's important. They don't have white mana for the Jeskai Revelation, so that is very good for us. We did manage to cut them off that. It's important. Obviously, third Grand is not what I want to see. And if my eye still dies, I am still in a big trouble. And obviously, they can just play one more lesson and then still is dying. So we'll see. Well, they're under a lot of pressure. I still have my Airbending Ascension. I have double Esper Origins ready to jump out of the graveyard. Alright, stock up. So they can still go Firebending Lesson, Combustion Technique to take care of my board. It would be rough. And they're definitely very, very set in the card advantage department. All these stock ups and these accumulated wisdoms. But I think the big difference between this Jeskai version and the more, I would say, well, I was gonna say common, but I think this is the common build of lessons. It's one of the best build of lessons. But compared to the previous versions with monuments and artist talents, I think you are just like you have way more air and less win conditions. And now Combustion Technique doesn't kill this. They still could go Firebending Lesson and Combustion Technique. What's happening? That's unfortunate. Alright. Well. How much mana do I have access to? So I can do Esper Origins and I can do Earthbender Ascension. If I draw a land Esper Origins. I think I definitely want to do that. Origins part, and yeah, I think this is fine. Fetch land, use it. I mean the I think I want to make this a 5/5 so they can't just card Revelation kill it. It's not that important that I pump up the forest, though, because the forest is likely just going to die due to get bounced by the Revelation. So I guess I just put it here in case they have a Firebending Lesson. The kicker version deals 5 damage, so I think it's 6/6 is fine. I don't really see a big reason for doing this, because again, they might just play that and then just Revelation. But yeah, things are looking not so good anymore. Thought I was a big favorite. Maybe I should have considered just not using my Demolition Field that one turn and instead develop with the Esper Origins. I think I kind of underestimated how much of an unlock could the untapped blue mana be for my opponent. And the fact that they managed to get a Decimate Wisdom at the end step down, it is actually quite huge, right? Because they you know, when I look at the last turn, they basically used all their resources down to one, like used all their mana exactly answer my board with the exact amount of lessons. So if I did the other way around, maybe it would have been better. You know, it might be hindsight thing. You know, I could have done the other play, and then it would have not worked out, and I would be just talking differently. But right now, I feel like I'm almost certainly dead. They're just gonna bounce up my forest, kill my Demolition Field. I mean, I have double Render Ascension, so if I could muster up somehow my Pro Harmonizer with Creature, which I don't have right now, so it's gonna be rough. Also, this, you know, this deck just, it gets ahead with double tablet. It's kind of problematic. Like, they have a lot of mana, and they have the discount of Grand. That was also another key part, obviously. Ooh. Sapling Nursery, that's a good one for sure. So, you could just play Sapling Nursery and pass with the Demolition Field out. I don't think the Aspirations is doing all that much. It's a very tough decision. I think it does something for me though. Like it draws a card. I really am looking for like Passing Sight. That would be the best card. Definitely okay with bottoming both. Okay, the Maelstrom Resolve is also very good. So I'll put a counter here, I believe, and then the Resolve in the P4. Again, the 4 toughness is pretty important. Not sure, maybe I should have done the other way around. My logic was that I would give this creature more toughness, but I think I'd rather have this creature more power, because this one's eventually gonna die, right? Or might just die right away. So I think maybe it was better the other way around, but it doesn't matter that much. And getting rid of the Granger, I think, is pretty huge. We are getting to the stage of the game where there is a slight chance I will just run them out of cards. I'm at a pretty high life total. I have the Zeppelin Nursery to make tokens. If I draw a Passing Say, it would be really nice because they would just allow me to continuously continuously make tokens. Okay. Spot them up and it's just dealing 5 damage to me, or 4 damage to me. I feel like they could have just dealt 4 damage here and then like kill it with Airbending Lesson or some such. They have the Combustion Technique instead, that's fine. 19 cards. Okay, well, Fetchlight is quite good. I will play this. Make it quenched. The basics I was talking about, okay. I know I was talking it up, but I kind of want to play Fable Passage here, and I think having Harmonizer, I mean, ideally I would like to draw both these cards, right? So we'll see if that is going to be, I'm going to get the opportunity to do that. But I am fine with just playing my Lenoir Elf, playing my Fable Passage. Pumping up my creatures. So I'll pump the Lenoir Elf with one of these Earthbender Ascensions. And I'm probably gonna pump up I think I'll pump twice. Maybe. Let's see, how many Firebending Lessons? Yeah, well, I did pump it once. I feel like if I pump it once, I need to pump it twice. That maybe was an error. I should probably just not pump it at all. Alright, I'm passing. I have the ability to make a lot more Sapling Nursery tokens with the Fable Passage and Demolition Fields. Maybe you should have considered just trying to blow up both white sources, but my opponent doesn't have plains. That would be kind of suicidal in this deck. But they drew so many cards that it was kind of likely they would just have another source of white. And now it's just so much better that I didn't do that. 1, 2. It's 4, 8, 12 mana. So they can do Jeskai Revelation and then I have still a bunch of mana left over, 5. Exact. So they played 3 Accumulated Wisdom. Very important to figure out what your opponent has left. I will just use the tracker. You guys don't see. So these 3 Combustion Technique, 2 Firebending Lesson, 3 Accumulated Wisdom, 2 Jeskai Revelation. So they have not used Quench. There's a card they very likely have. And there's still one more Grangering copy. Hopefully it's somewhere low in the library. 2 more Abandoned Attachments. Some copies of Pyro's Demonstration for sure. I really don't want to use my my lands this turn if I don't have to, right? So I'll just go block. And I let them like blink first, you know. They need to act now. If I use my land, they might First, I don't want to shuffle my basic side. I think there's a pretty good card in this spot. I'm willing to. I'm like okay with it. I don't mind it that much. But I also don't want to like blink first because they could just use Jeskai Revelation on my sapling nursery. So we will try to avoid it as much as possible. But again, I'm willing to do it. That's completely fine. I might respond to the next one. Well, I'm really thrilled to go to damage here, so let's do that. That's a great outcome for me. I got rid of 3 tokens. They totally will... Well, I guess they might play like flashback, so... but usually they just play 4 Jeskai refs, so the maximum they can make is 8 tokens. And obviously, once I run out of tokens, it's gonna be kind of hard for them to win the game, so we'll see. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, I'll just go on tap. And I'll warp Armorizer. And I'll try to go for a lot of our elf skill. But I don't really need to go for a kill. Like, I'm probably just gonna be trying to deal some decent amount of damage here, but... kind of tricky to play around this. Especially as I'm narrating linear left, because it's an incredibly complicated situation, but... I don't even know if I'm like supposed to try and force lethal here. It's kind of silly because they might kill a Harmonizer. And bounce my nursery, but I can just like really, again, I don't have to really attack. I can just like use the Llanowar Elves to activate my demolition field and blow up a land here and save my Harmonizer. I think it's something I'm interested in. Also just let it happen, but I think I'll blow up the Sundown Pass. Make a Dukin. So I'll put a counter on this. Counter on this. And then this resolves. I get my Llanowar Elves back to my hand. I'm just going to replay my Llanowar Elves. It stops me from giving using the sapling nursery ability, which is slightly relevant, but not much. Of course, Quench. I think Quench is more or less fine. Minded. I feel like Quench, just to basically make my Harmonizer more expensive next turn, is very similar to losing the Llanowar Elf. Again, I think my biggest like now focus is just winning by milling. I kinda make it impossible for my opponent to win the game. I think we're relatively close to that stage. It's certainly possible actually to just crack the Fable Passage on my turn and get the Sapling Nursery triggers on. Because again, they're kind of running out of answers for my tokens. They have just 1 Revelation, 1 Combustion Technique. So I think if they go for attacks, I'll just triple block, right? That's fine. And then again, I'm just like not blinking, basically. That's you don't want to be the one that blinks first in this matchup. or in this situation. But yeah, I think just basically my opponent's kind of out of win conditions, right? Yeah, Arena's weak on that case. So now they can use arrows. I definitely think they kind of made a slight misstep here. What I'm a bit scared of is Jeskai Revelation, like using a combustion technique or firing lesson on my failure passage, and then bouncing my Sip and Nursery response, which I think they have enough mana for. Yeah, I think it was a slight mistake just not to use the Fabled Passage. If I made four 5s, it may have been better. But okay, well now that I get to untap, I think I should take that option. You know what? I'm just gonna go for what I outline as my win condition. I'm just going to I'm just going to try to win by milling my opponent, basically. No pressure. No attacks from me. It's fine. Like I said, they have right now 3 answers for my creatures left in the deck. Unless they're playing Flashback. If they're playing Flashback, they might have more. But even so, they're probably like playing like 1 or 2 Flashbacks maximum. So it would have would account like 4 or something. Alright. That's fine, right? I go to 11. So that was the 4th Jeskai Revelation use. So, if they don't have Flashback, I feel like I'm in a really good spot. They do have a Flashback. Might be in trouble. So let's hope. No Flashback. Oh my god, it is Traumatic Critique. Alright, well. Didn't consider that card. That may have been an error. So maybe I should have gone for it, played more aggressive. I definitely feel like this game was winnable from my side. Not totally sure how and why and when, but I thought the game was slipping at some point, and then I feel like the corner was turning, but not totally sure there was ever a window for me to punch through and find lethal. I feel much more confident in the post-board games, of course, when I have, well, most I get rid of this and some other weak cards. The Vegetable Cup, I think. I don't love them much. The Harmonizer, I don't love them much. One of our elves also is a bit lower on my list of priorities. I'm kind of growing. Cup is kind of growing on me. Maybe I don't want any Harmonizers. It's kind of hard to do anything with that. It's full mana, dies to Iros. Nah, I think it's fine. I'll keep 1. I'm not sure about this 3 and 3. Maybe it's supposed to be a different amount, like 4 and 2. But I'll try this way. On the draw, I'll probably put in the 4th one or So we are gonna be on the play. Hopefully no. Well, now I can't draw Mustard. Also. Okay. Also, I was gonna say hopefully no 1-landers for sure, and then I drew 1-lander, so that's not good. With this hand, I think I'm just gonna go to roll treatment. I don't think they played that many counter spells, so hopefully I get the resolve my Sap and Nursery. But yeah, I feel like I want maximum lands. I have Passing Say with the fetch land, so that's pretty huge. And the roll treatment, I think, is both good as Tablet Discover answer, and also obviously exile target card from graveyard, the roll card. That could nap easily the 3rd lesson, which can become relevant. Imagine your opponent plays Accumulated Wisdom, excited, giddy, ready to pick up 3 cards from the top of the library, put them into their hands, and you go, no. You can pick 1 out of the 3, and I will draw a card as well. So that would be nice. Let's see if that happens. Hoping to dodge a turn 1 Grand, as always. That's the scary card here. Right, one doesn't have it. Awesome. And we have a Soul Guide Lantern. I think I just continue with Forest. Like I said, I want to keep this for the nursery. And right now I have a third land drop, so I can play Ascension next turn. Can play Badgermole Cup. Good. Hopefully this resolves. But there's a lot of different ways to counter this one. Nice, that's amazing. That's really good. I mean, picking what you counter in this matchup is kind of hard because the counter spells are text so much. At least the 4-color version has answers to cards like Nursery. This Jeskai version doesn't, so you really like need to save counter spells for the big bangers, and maybe Badgermole Cup, which is kind of like a rampant growth on the body here in this spot. So not the strongest card you've ever seen. Maybe that's just not warranted, you know, use the counterspell net. And I feel like I'm now in a great spot. That was a really, really crucial pick up this Badgermole Cup because it's kind of going to bridge the gap between my big beefies. It's pretty good. I'm just going to kill the tablet and then Soulguide Lantern the graveyard. And it's going to send back my opponent quite a bit. So, sacrifice this land with a basic on the board. It's too bad this is not a favorite passage, but I have it all, I guess. I want to Earthbender's Ascension and delay the decay a little bit. I guess that's completely fine. Crucially, they can't ramp from 7 mana. They will have maximum 6 next turn, so that's pretty good. Let's attack with Cup. And I'll nap their lesson. Always nice. I'm gonna pick this. Not sure if it's super element. I still have not seen the flashback. And I'm just gonna seg the tunnel. Ooh. Wow, that is a card I have not seen out of lessons just yet, but it's gonna be pretty good here. I am just not gonna use my fetch land though. This allows me, this is a window to play the Sapling Nursery. And I'm just gonna make a 4/5 reach creature. And you know what? I'm just gonna we'll definitely destroy the artifact. And do I activate this escape panel? Probably. Just making 3 more 4/5s. Kind of hard for my opponent to deal with, right? Especially with like combustion technique not being an answer. Just Revelation being far away. I mean, the basic Lucid Mountains is kind of huge, I'm gonna lie. But yeah, the rating wasn't a lot. I mean, I had like 2-turn clock. Combustion technique once again is not really an answer. This is not really a blocker because I can just attack and whichever they block, I just sacrifice my escape tunnel and put Airbending ancient counter on. So to die. So yeah, it was basically 2-turn clock, honestly, because they really don't have very many answers to these creatures, unless it's combustion technique, which again was negated by this. So that's pretty good. Like I said, I like this, right? I'm not sure if you want 3 or 2 Soulguide Lanterns. I was going back and forth on that decision. That's quite good in this game, huh? Let's just do this. Revise my sideboard guide. And yeah, once again, I it just finished writing a extensive deck guide on this deck. I do truly believe it's the best deck in Standard. I've been doing really quite well with it recently on the ladder. I did somewhat recently. I did somewhat well at the Prague RC, where I did go 8-2 in the LCQs. Although felt a little short in the main event. But I can just blame that on luck, you know, it is what it is. I'll win them all. Interesting. It is interesting. I don't hate it. It does stop the shenanigans of my deck quite a bit. I do have Leatherhead Swamp Stalker, which is a very strong card if it resolves. So Ghost Vacuum, very interesting. I mean, it does kill the Airbending lands. Like now my Benchmark Cup play from last game is not as good. And Ice Still is also not so good. So I'm gonna use the Solar Lantern. That is a solid start, and then I'll have a bit of a think. Honestly, so I'll take that. I think I just play Basing Say, and I might activate the Solar Lantern. I'm not totally sure about that. We'll see. But I kind of don't want to crack that Escape Tunnel now, because I would like to have 2 lands in graveyard once when I play the Ice Still on turn 4. So if they use the Vacuum, I still have 1 land left over and I can put into play. That would be great. So, and I'm not sure about not using the Lantern against Pickle, so we'll see what they mill. It's a lesson, I'm less likely to use it. Praise of Freedom. Alright, that's a good one. Move my Basing Say here, which honestly doesn't matter that much because it is much worse in the face of Ghost Vacuum. I decided not to use the Lantern because, you know, they milled the price. And I feel like my plays are kind of scripted, and I'm fine with that. It is very good draw for my opponent. Like, they had the Vacuum interaction, then the tablet. We'll see what the flop is. Stock was obviously excellent. I'm hoping to dodge a counterspell or back-to-back counterspell, more specifically. Okay. Oh, gotta sack this. And turn. Passage. Play Ice Still. Fingers crossed it resolves. What is thinking? Weighing their options. Flash freeze. Alright, well. I will try next turn with my Leatherhead Swamp Stalker. And hopefully that one resolves. But the issue is that now they have just got Revelation mana up. And it's obviously very worrying because just got Revelation, not looking like it, but it is a counter spell. It is a great counter spell. The Remand variety, so I think about my hazard issue just 100% bounces Leatherhead and then heal 4 to me. And that's rough. I am not sure I'll be able to find a win this game. My hand was a bit heavy. They had the created replies to my things, and they curved up perfectly well. Managed to play the turn 5 just Revelation. And yeah, this is why the Jeskai Lessons deck is quite good, you know. I've been playing Lessons for a long time, and I'm a little upset I didn't actually pick this deck up for the RC. It was doing really well at the RC. I mean, I don't have very many regrets. I still think that Landfall is a fantastic choice. But I'm here stuck, casting Letterhead Swims Lookers and getting a Jeskai Revelation to the ground, and I think that is going to be a loss. I'll pick up right here. Yeah, not much to say. I played against a great deck, and the great deck had a great draw, and unfortunately I couldn't quite get the win. I'm kind of uncertain about a Slogan Lantern. Maybe bringing in just 2 copies is better. Still learning, still testing. This is a relatively new deck. I don't have infinite reps against it, so it's good to get this notion. I feel like if I had Benjamin come this game, it would have been a bit better. Just to ramp me up a little bit. Although it is kind of rough against this Ghost Vacuum. Like that was a really great error here. My opponent just needs one more spell. They have a grip of 7 cards. I don't love our chances. We'll see. That is a quench. That is a spell they cannot cast right away, but they can win the game with Airbending Lesson. And there it is. Alright, that's gonna be it for me today. If you like what you saw, I do think it's a great deck. I did get slightly unfortunate. It was slightly unfortunate game 1. I think maybe I could have won with a better play. But yeah, Landfall is great. If you want to check out my guide, I'm gonna put the link in the description. So you can click on that. I think it's a great resource, and I will be updating it. Whenever I play Landfall at any tournament, I'll just put an update right there. And yeah, I think this deck is fantastic, and I'm having a blast. 13 forests for life. It is me. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.